Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at my second clear of Nirai Kanai. I beat Nirai Kanai for the first time one play before this video, but for some reason I wasn't really happy with that video, so here is the second one. And gimmicks here are gravity barriers, warps, and blocks, but we can't always bring people that address all of these gimmicks, so we'll have to kind of pick and choose which gimmicks we want to address. And for a long while, I really preferred null warp characters to null gravity barrier characters. But I was looking at the rankings on Game With, and then they put Nightingale up there at the top. And I was wondering why they did that. And then I saw a video by a couple of guys from Game With, and they explained why they like null gravity barrier characters better. And it's because in most of the levels, the gravity barriers come out first, and then the warps come out later. So the null gravity barrier characters are immediately useful, and then if you can clear a stage even before the warps come out, then it's a non-issue. So that made sense to me. I think I still prefer null warp characters, but it does make me like the Nightingale a bit more. Okay, but to talk about my team, I'm using a King. He is a Pierce with null block only. He does not have null gravity barrier or null warp. He also has weak point Slayer, so he can go straight for the bosses or the enemy's weak points and then do lots of damage that way. He has a pretty good bump combo, the Rewind Blaster. And then he has a Strike Shot, which kind of works like a Meteor or a Speed and Power Up. Okay, next up I'm using a Nightingale Ascension, and then I pulled her just a couple days ago from the fan vote hatcher. And yeah, I was very happy to get her, because I'm very low on characters good for Nirai Kanai. That's one of the reasons why I'm using King. But she is a Pierce with no gravity barrier, and then passive in her, she has Water Slayer. So she'll do extra damage on everybody in this mission. And then also, since it's passive in her, it will go into her bump combo. And then her bump combo is the Cross Laser EL, and that's pretty strong, but of course multiplied with the Elemental Slayer. And then she has a Strike Shot where she gets Speed and Power Up, and then she keeps that until the next round. So it's kind of like she uses it twice. But then also, while it's not her turn, she gets the attack up on her bump combo. So pretty darn good. And again, rated #1 for this mission by Game With. Okay, next up I'm using a Scorpica Ascension, and she is a Pierce with no block. And then she's kind of considered the best max luck for this mission. She has a Dragon Slayer and a Fairy Slayer, Sprite Slayer. And then the Dragon Slayer works on the Aqua Dragons and the boss. And then the Sprite Slayer works on the Yadias. They're the mermaids that shoot out the gravity barriers. And that's passive in her as well. So she will get that into her bump combo, which is the lock-on Pierce Wave, and then the lock-on Poison Wave, both of which are pretty strong for this mission. And then she has a Tackle Strike Shot, and then I'll talk about why that's useful for this mission on the last stage. And then finally, my friend is a Robin Hood Ascension, still one of the characters that I want the most, but he is a Pierce with no gravity barrier and no warp, so he really addresses the gimmicks here. He has a Homing Strike Shot, which charges up pretty quickly, and then a bump combo, also the lock-on Pierce Wave, and then also a Slice and Dice. And his attack is super high. His speed is not too high, but because his attack is so high, he can just aim straight for the boss's weak point and then do lots of damage on just like 2 hits. He's pretty crazy. And then there are no hearts in this mission, so we're going to want to make use of the healing walls. Okay, so those first few stages were pretty straightforward, but I'll do a more detailed account of this one. Here, the biggest danger is in the horizon laser that comes out of the top part of that Nirai Kanai in the bottom. And then the way that I like to play this stage is just to keep all of my guys as low down as possible. This is pretty easy to do with null warp characters. They can just go left and right. Characters without null warp, we have to get a little bit more creative. We can either try to get in between the warp and then that laser. Didn't quite do it with Scorpica. Or with characters like King or Nightingale, we can do up and down angles. But actually this stage is not that hard, as long as you keep your positioning good. Okay, so there goes that. And we'll move on to the boss sequence. Okay, for this first stage, there are two ways to go about it. One is to take down as many guys as you can, and then on that attack in the center of Nirai Kanai, which is at 6 right now, we want to get some healing walls out. And then we can do that by taking down one or both of the anglers, those depth down there. And then, yeah, we want to do that maybe 1 or 2 turns before that center attack on Nirai Kanai, because the healing walls don't last forever. But if we want to just not, you know, have to worry about that, we can just take out Nirai Kanai within those first few turns, and then we won't get hit by the attack. And then what that attack is it is a gravity attack, and it will lower our party's HP down to 4. So that's why it's important to get the healing walls out that turn before. Okay, so 2 turns before the gravity attack. Let's see if we can maybe get rid of the boss before then. Okay, 1 turn left. I don't think we're going to do it. So let's go down, let's take down one of the anglers, and then set us up for the healing wall. Okay, there's the healing wall. Here comes the gravity attack. HP goes down to 4. And then with King, let's do some healing. So we'll just go up and down here. And then after that we can go back to hitting the boss. And then the attack immediately following the gravity attack is that downward pointing laser. If we don't get hit by that, that's actually an extra turn for us to do healing. So if somehow we weren't able to do healing, we could still do it the next turn. But I like to play it safe and just do it immediately. And then as we saw, the next attack after that downwards laser was a homing. So we definitely want to do the healing before that comes out. There's no blocking that. Okay, second boss stage. We want to get rid of those row of 3 guys up there at the top first. And then for this stage, there is no gravity attack. We see no number in the center of Nirai Kanai there. But instead, he has kind of an upward fanning effect spread shot. And that can really take us out. So after we take down that row of guys at the top, we want to move either to the sides or below Nirai Kanai. Okay. Okay, and then Scorpica, she does have no block. So here let's miss the gauge and try to get in between the boss and the block. No. But yeah, that is a way to use null block in this mission. Okay, I think we have 3 turns until that upward spread attack. So we definitely want to start moving our guys down. And I'm going to ignore my own vice and use Robin's strike shot. And it's strong, considering that it only takes 13 turns to charge up. But yeah, it didn't really do a whole lot of damage there. But thankfully King with his weak point Slayer is lined up perfectly with the weak point. So let's get a couple hits in there. Excellent. Very, very strong. And yeah, King doesn't really address any of the gimmicks, but he's so powerful that I think it's still worth bringing him. Okay, last stage. Okay, so here too we want to get rid of that bottom row of guys as quickly as possible. But my positioning here to start is not really good. I would like all of my characters to be in the lower half of the screen, but only half of my characters started there, so I have to kind of catch up a bit with my positioning. And then there are lots of characters that are good for Nirai Kanai that have meteor strike shots, and that can be really useful for this last stage. Okay, let's miss the gauge here. Let's use that block and then take down the Bahamut there. Okay, we didn't take down the Yadiyas in time, so they shoot out the gravity barriers. Thankfully, my next character has no gravity barriers, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, we'll take down one of the Yadiyas, and one of the anglers by accident. I don't think that healing wall is going to be out by the time the gravity attack comes out. Okay, with Scorpica, let's get some bump combos out. Yeah, okay. Yikes. Taking some damage, but actually there's no more attacks coming up for the next few turns, so we're okay. We just need to keep focusing on taking down the Yadiya and then getting rid of the angler so that we can set up the healing wall. Okay, so one turn left until the gravity attack. I would love to go through those blocks, but King has the ability lock, so we'll have to do something else. I think I'll settle just for doing bump combos and then hope to take down the angler. Okay, great. Okay, there's the gravity attack. Thankfully, Nightingale is in great position to do some healing for us, so let's do a left and right attack. Use the block. Perfect. Alright, you can stop now. Okay. Okay, and then here I'm going to show how to use Scorpica's strike shot. This will also work with Pavardi or Hokusai. But use the tackle strike shot to stick to the side of Nirai Kanai, and then the next turn you miss the gauge, you do a perfect left and right attack, and then get a loop hit in there. A loop hit is when a Pierce character gets caught in between two blocks and then does millions and millions of damage. It's like a Pierce match shot. But we're not going to be able to see it because we're going to use King's strike shot and take down the boss. Okay, so that was Nirai Kanai. That was my second time clear, immediately after my first time clear. And then, yeah, Nirai Kanai is kind of considered the easiest of the Colossal quests. He's still difficult, but he is very worth making the max luck of. The character is basically a Hatcher monster in strength. And yeah, because he is considered the easiest Colossal, he's more doable than the other Colossals. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.